Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to get started for the Budget and Finance Committee meeting. I'd like to get started, please. Councilman Domney. Oh, I'm not scared. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. RS 2015-1389 authorized the Department of Law to compromise and settle the lawsuits brought by Pamela DeSoto against the Metropolitan Government and certain Metro employees for the amount of $295,000. Like, there is a motion to defer one meeting. Mr. Solomon, would you like to explain? Oh, excuse me. Hold on.
I'm happy to entertain whatever the council would prefer on this. We could go ahead and we could defer it, which is obviously what the motion is all about. We can also go ahead and we could talk about the case today, and perhaps, John Cooper, correct me if I'm wrong, perhaps we can go ahead and make a recommendation to council pending resolution of a signed settlement agreement. There has not yet been a signed settlement agreement. I know that the Parks Director is here, and I believe Mr. Soto's attorney might be here. So it might be a good opportunity to at least vet some of the issues here if the committee would like to do so. So the reason why we ask for a deferral, the reason why we can't definitively resolve this today is there has not yet been an executed settlement agreement, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One is that Mr. Soto has asked that each of the individual defendants sign the settlement agreement, and they each have lawyers, and they have not yet signed off on the language. The second reason is that we are still negotiating with Mr. Soto what the future of her relationship will be with the Metro government in terms of employment. And so we thought those issues had been resolved, but they clearly have not yet been resolved. And so those are really the two things that have prevented us from reaching a settlement, a definitive settlement agreement at this time. Not a monetary issue at this point in time. It's more contractual language. So I'm happy to answer questions. We have Kelly Oliver here from my office, who's been doing a great job handling this case, here to answer questions if that's the way we would like to proceed.
We can just go ahead and discuss it, and then if we'd like, John mentioned Mr. Cooper, we can possibly have it under a conditional vote. Is that?
Well, the committee, if it chose to, the committee could make a recommendation with the understanding that if there is not a signed settlement agreement by tomorrow night, that the motion on the floor will be to defer, or the committee can just defer action in committee, and then it would come back at the next meeting to the committee and council.
Councilman Garrett.
Mr. Chairman, what is it your pleasure? I mean, I'll be glad to yield to, if you want to say something, go right ahead. I mean, Mr. Chairman, I was going to go, defer it or do what our council wants us to do, but I'll be glad to yield to Councilman Stein. He seems to want to make a judgment.
Before I mention my opinion, I'll listen to Councilman Stein.
Yeah, I really think it's not a great precedent for us to deal with a settlement until it's settled. And if there's any chance that anything be changed tomorrow night, which should probably come back to us anyway to vet. And I apologize to those that are here anticipating that we might deal with it conditionally, but it seems to me that the role of this body is to deal with the settlement once it's approved and once it's all signed off on. So my sense is that based on how we've operated in the past, that we really ought to wait till it's in stone and deal with it rather than deal with something that, even if there's only a slight chance, might change.
Thank you. There's a motion on the floor for one meeting deferral. All in favor? I don't, you want to speak on the deferral? It won't be the first time, Councilman Pardue. Councilman Glover?
I was just simply going to, I'll echo what Councilman Stein said. I think we need to know all the details, so yeah, I'm in agreement. I think we should defer and not take action conditionally at this point.
Seeing no others in the queue, motion on the floor for one meeting defer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1393 calls the Metro Board of Equalization into a regular session beginning June 1st, 2015, and special session beginning June 15, 2015. Have a motion?
So moved.
Duly seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1394 approves a federal grant of $7,200 to the Metro Office of Emergency Management to reduce risks associated with the bulk transport of crude oil by rail.
So moved.
And duly seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 2015-1395 approves a license agreement between Metro Water Services and CSX Transportation for the purpose of constructing a pipeline crossing within the railroad right-of-way as part of the Thompson Lane Additional Discharge Main Project.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And duly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. RS 2015-1396, Councilman Lady Bennett authorizes the acquisition of property located at 4419 Saunders Avenue for the use as part of the Saunders Avenue Stormway Project.
Second.
Duly seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Councilman Pardue, that ends the Budget and Finance Committee meeting.